What about in foot pedals, things like that? What's something that you're like?
Well, before we got into the whole rack madness, it was all, you had a bag full of stuff. Generally, like Jay Graydon was the first guy to turn me on to the Boss Chorus stereo thing, where you have 2 deluxes with the thing, and that was a big deal if you could get 2 tracks on a tracking date. Because back then, a 24-track tape.
You just get one, right?
The first thing to go would be your stereo amp if they wanted to do a bounce or do we need another track. It's like, oh, there goes that. So consequently, some of the chorusing sounds a little not really the way it was meant, because you're only getting half a side.
Right.
And then they put it in the middle so that it wouldn't be,
So it's actually not chorus.
The gear's gotten a lot better over the years.
Yeah.
Back then, I used to use an orange squeezer on the 335 to give it just a little compression, not a lot. Graydon used to use that a lot. That was his whole thing with Peg and all that. He played through these and have that all the way up.
Was there with the orange squeezer? Was there no compressor pedal or something, or is that?
It's just an on and off switch.
And it sat right on the top of the guitar,
like,
right? Scratching the top and everything.
Yeah. I used to have a whole bunch of all that shit got stolen out of lockers that I've had. I had so much gear stolen.
Now you played that intro weird double bend that he plays on Peg.
That's an old Amos Garrett lick from A Midnight at the Oasis. You ever hear that solo?
Yeah.
That's a legendary solo. That's where Jay got it. He goes,
that's actually really a hard lick to play in tune when he does it.
Yeah. You have to work with it a little bit. It's not like that one. I haven't done that one in a while. I'll leave that to Jay now. He's done his tutorials on how to play Peg and all that stuff.
I'd like to take a second to talk to you about this channel. This is actually Rick Beato 2. I've had it since the beginning of my main channel, and many of you are not subscribed. As a matter of fact, 87% of the people that watch this channel regularly are not subscribed. So I encourage you to hit the subscribe button on this channel and on my main channel. This will help me get even more of my dream guests and help continue to grow both channels. Thank you.
I did a video with him.
It was great.
And Dean, this is a thing I put out last year or so. We're just hanging out with Tim Pierce. I went over to Jay's house and didn't have the right camera gear or anything. I just happened to have a camera with me, and he had a camera. We put him up, and they told some hilarious stories, and then I lost the footage for about 2 years, and then I found it.
Oh, wow.
And I kind of cobbled it together and put it out, but there's one point where Jay is telling Dean, because Dean had played it with Steely Dan Live, and Dean's playing the solo, and Jay's, no, you're playing it wrong. No, it goes like this. And Dean's kind of trying to remember it. He hadn't played it and everything. So then Dean hands me the guitar.
But you had it, because you learned it.
I learned it.
Yeah,
it was a climbing lick is the thing that was kind of...
All that stuff.
Yeah.
That's classic Jay.
Okay, so who were the other 6 guitar players that played before him?
Robin Ford was one. I think Larry did one.
No one ever talks about that, who the other people were. They just
don't know.
say...
Might have been a couple of New York guys. Elliott may have tried it.
I wonder what was wrong with their solos. They
different takes.
They all got erased over, right?
I think there was one YouTube with Donald and Walter sitting there putting up faders, and I think they had a Robin Ford one there. It was cool, but it's like, nah, that wouldn't have been right. I could see why they didn't, And then Graydon's was just weird enough that it just worked. I think that by the time they got to Jay, what Jay told me, he's like, no matter what he plays, we're keeping it. Because I think they just had enough, and they were like, okay, that's it, enough.
If you're going to put together your ultimate studio band, but with no studio musicians, people from actual bands.
Oh, wow.
Who would it be? Give me, and you're not playing guitar on this.
And I'm not on it.
And you're not on it.
I'm producing.
You're the producer. Okay, so who are people? You could take John Bonham. You could take whoever you want. Like, who's ultimate?
What kind of music am I playing?
Let's say, I don't know, rock. Let's say it's a rock session.
Well, I love all the guys I play with now, but I'm taking away them, because that's kind of unfair. Geez, I don't know. Dead or alive?
Dead or alive, yeah.
Dead or alive. Oh, man, that's a hard question because I have so many favorites, I'd have to have 5 guitar players. I don't know. If I start naming names, I'm going to piss somebody off by like not mentioning them or something like that.
Who are guys that are band guys that are players that could have come up with parts on records?
Drummers, I don't know. It'd be fun to play with John Bonham, man. You know, that would be fun.
Now,
Rock
what
record.
Steely Dan could John Bonham have played on a Steely Dan song? And if it yes,
Probably not. You know, because their music is a little more subtle.
okay,
However, if they wrote something with him in mind, which I think sometimes they often did, you know, oh, these guys will be great on this. Maybe it didn't always work out that way. I mean, I don't know for sure, but they tried a lot of rhythm sections. I know they did that. And that's why those records took so long and were so expensive, because they didn't care about spending. They wanted, it was an art. It was art to them. At least that's what I'm getting out of it. You know?
how did they know after you hear so many different people, how did they know when they had the right thing?
You know, again, you'd have to ask them that. I know, for me, I know it. I go, oh, that's right. That's the part. That's the groove. That's the take. That's not quite it. I could do better. Or, you know what? That little imperfection is real. Where people now, they want to buff out every possible wart. And I don't know if you're hip to this guy, Phil, at Pegasus, you know, the guy who goes in there and busts everybody, you know, lip syncing live and all that stuff.
Yeah.
A tough room, this cat. You know, if you're bullshitting and he's in there going like, you know, people are paying money to see this, and like, I'm sure he's not making any friends with the people he's busting, but you know, I find it interesting that the people don't know that, and they don't care.
They don't care.
That's the best part.
That's the thing.
And that's why it was interesting for us, is we're getting this new audience of 15 to 35-year-old people that are used to ones and zeros. And what's that sound like? It's all ones and zeros going into their head. So somebody explained it as like, it's just background music for multitasking at this point.